Most people spend their 30s, 40s, and 50s quietly wondering the same thing. Am I behind? You check your bank account, you look at your CPF, you do some rough mental math, and then you close the app because the answer makes you uncomfortable. Here's the thing nobody tells you clearly. There is no single magic number, but there are honest benchmarks, and when you understand them, something shifts. You stop guessing, you start planning. Today, we're going to walk through exactly how much you should realistically have saved at 30, 40, 50, and 60 in Singapore. Not textbook theory, real numbers, real context, built around the life most Singaporeans actually live. Let's start at the beginning. You're 22, fresh out of university or poly. First paycheck hits your account and it already feels like it disappeared. Rent, transport, food. Maybe a small contribution to your parents. CPF starts building quietly in the background, but nobody really explains what it means yet. By the time you hit 30, most Singaporeans have been working for roughly 7 to 8 years. The average starting salary sits somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. After CPF contributions, take-home pay is real but tight. So what should you actually have by 30? A reasonable target is 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses saved in cash or liquid savings. If your monthly expenses run around $2,500, that means $6,000 to $15,000 in accessible savings. On top of that, your CPF ordinary account should have accumulated something meaningful. With consistent contributions on an average salary, many 30-year-olds find between $30,000 and $50,000 in their OA, sometimes more. But here's what actually separates 30-year-olds who are ahead from those who feel stuck. It's not the exact number, it's whether they started investing. Someone who began putting even $300 a month into a simple low-cost ETF at 24 will have a completely different financial trajectory than someone who waited until 32. Not because the monthly amount is large, because time is doing most of the heavy lifting. By 30, the goal isn't to be rich. The goal is to have built real habits, have some emergency savings, and have started growing a separate investment pot outside of CPF. Now 40 arrives. This is where the pressure becomes very real. Career is more established. Maybe there's an HDB mortgage, possibly young children. Parents are getting older. The responsibilities stack up faster than the savings sometimes. Here's the honest benchmark. By 40, a financially healthy Singaporean should have roughly 1.5 to 2 times their annual salary saved or invested across all accounts. If your annual salary is $72,000, that means somewhere between $108,000 and $144,000 in total assets, including investments, savings, and accessible CPF balances. But what most people don't realize is how much CPF quietly compounds in the background. Your special account has been growing at 4% interest. Your ordinary account has been building. If you've been consistently contributing and haven't dipped too heavily into the OA for property, the numbers might surprise you. The challenge at 40 is lifestyle inflation. This is the silent wealth destroyer. Income goes up, lifestyle follows. Dining out more, upgrading the car, better holidays. These aren't bad choices in their own right, but they quietly eat the gap between earning more and actually building more. The 40-year-old who reaches this milestone comfortably usually has one habit in common. They treated investing like a bill, not optional. Every month, a fixed amount moved out of the current account before lifestyle spending touched it. 50 feels different. The finish line of retirement becomes visible in a way it wasn't before. You start doing the math more seriously. And this is where many Singaporeans feel a quiet panic. Because 50 is also when the cost of not starting early becomes very concrete. By 50, a reasonable target is 3 to 4 times your annual salary in combined savings and investments, not counting the full value of your HDB. Not counting future CPF withdrawals you haven't touched yet, liquid and semi-liquid assets that can realistically be deployed for your retirement years. For someone earning $80,000 a year, that means roughly $240,000 to $320,000 in combined assets. And this is where CPF life becomes an important part of the picture. The The decisions you make between 50 and 55 about your retirement account balance will directly affect your monthly payout when you retire. Every dollar you top up now earns 4% interest, guaranteed. That's not nothing in a world of uncertain markets. The 50-year-old who's on track usually has their mortgage largely under control, their investments compounding quietly, and a clear sense of what their monthly CPF life payout will look like. The one who feels behind at 50 isn't lost, but the urgency needs to shift. This is the decade where every financial decision carries more weight than it did at 30, 60. This is the decade where working becomes optional for some and necessary for many. By 60, the honest target is somewhere between 5 and 7 times your annual salary and accessible assets, excluding your primary home. If you've been earning $60,000 a year, that means $300,000 to $420,000 in combined savings, investments, and CPF retirement account. This needs to fund potentially 25 to 30 years of living expenses. That number scares some people. It shouldn't, because at 60, CPF life is working. If your retirement account hits the enhanced retirement sum, your monthly payout alone can cover basic living expenses. The question is what lifestyle you want on top of that. A rental income stream from a second property, dividend payouts from a modest REIT portfolio, or part-time consulting work can all supplement significantly. Retirement in Singapore doesn't have to mean total income replacement from day one. It means engineering enough predictable monthly income to live without financial anxiety. Now here's what ties all of this together. These benchmarks are not verdicts. They're calibration tools. If you're 30 and behind, you have decades of compounding ahead. If you're 50 and behind, you still have the CPF top-up strategy, reduced expenses after children leave, and potentially your HDB equity working for you. The real question was never whether you've hit an exact number. The real question is whether your habits today are pointing in the right direction. Someone with $400,000 at 50 and zero investing habits is in worse shape than someone with $200,000 at 50 who understands exactly what to do with the next decade. Numbers are the result. Behavior is the cost. There's a quiet kind of confidence that comes when you stop avoiding the numbers and start understanding them. Not because everything is perfect, but because you can see the path. The 30-year-old who starts today won't feel behind at 40. The 40-year-old who gets serious won't panic at 50. And the 50-year-old who moves with intention still has a genuinely comfortable retirement available. The best savings milestone you can hit isn't a number. It's the moment you stop guessing and start knowing. That moment can happen today.